It has an insatiable appetite, reaches titanic proportions, and can adapt to almost anything. It's poisonous, hallucinogenic, and extremely deadly. And when it invades foreign territory, it's virtually unstoppable. The cane toad. The cane toad is one of the Australian continent's most feared and tenacious invasive species. These supersized members of the frog family easily grow over 15 centimeters long and weigh nearly 500 grams, and some cane toads get even larger. One behemoth 900-gram cane toad known as Toadzilla stretched over 43 centimeters, twice the length of a grown man's hand. But it's their poison-secreting skin that turns this toad into a lethal weapon. Dry and bumpy to the touch, one taste of this flesh can kill. It's a deadly encounter for many unlucky domesticated or wild animals. Special organs under the cane toad's shoulders, known as parotid glands, secrete a highly poisonous milky white liquid called bufotoxins. The bufotoxins attack a victim's nerves, breathing, circulation, and muscles all at once, causing total collapse. Many toads carry bufotoxins, but the cane toad's concentrations can kill a predator like a snake in seconds, and all it takes is a single taste. One lick of a cane toad and a victim's heart becomes a ticking time bomb. Natural steroids in the cane toad toxin cause irregular contractions of the heart muscle. Epinephrine, better known as adrenaline, completes the fatal formula, kicking the contractions into overdrive. The result? Instant death. Some accounts suggest there have even been human cane toad fatalities, but far more people have made themselves sick, and all for the rumor that licking cane toads can get you high. There's some truth to the legend. A particular cane toad toxin called bufotenin is classified as a psychedelic in Australia. This natural chemical works on the brain's receptors, causing paranoia, confusion, and hallucinations. But the high comes at a potentially dangerous cost. In certain doses, cane toad toxin may cause burning skin, nausea, and chest pains. Yet despite the sensation surrounding cane toads, Australia's most infamous invasive species is a fairly recent phenomenon. Native cane toads have roamed the Americas, from Texas to the central Amazon to southeastern Peru, for thousands of years. They belong to the frog family Bufonidae, or true toads. Bufonidae toad species exist everywhere on Earth except two places: Antarctica and Australia. And until 1935, Australia had no native toads of any kind. But human intervention changed the course of natural history. Like many invasive species, cane toads went from intended savior to nightmare. Australian farmers imported the hungry Bufo marinus toad from Hawaii in 1935. The toads were supposed to keep down a pesky beetle hatched from these larvae that were destroying sugar canes. But the toads couldn't reach the beetles clinging high up in the stalks, so they simply took their appetites elsewhere, breeding like flies, outcompeting native species for food, and devouring everything from insects to reptiles to small rodents. Today, the cane toad's dominance ranges from the southeastern coastline all the way through the Northern Territory, covering over 1 million square kilometers, a full 15% of the continent's entire landmass. Graham Sawyer is the founder of a cane toad tracking organization called Frogwatch. He's concerned about the cane toad's rapid progress and bold behavior.
They come out into open spaces at night to feed, and because they're not afraid of anything, they don't hide away like native frogs do, they just sit out in the open. Cane toads are very adaptable, and that's one of the things that's been a big surprise with temperature range, because there were areas of Australia where it was predicted cane toads would never get to because it's too cold or too hot, and so far they've done pretty well. They've had amazingly rapid movement to the north.
But this invasive creature is only following its own hardwired DNA. The cane toad has two essential desires: a lust for food and a lust to reproduce. Cane toads have rabid libidos. Males seek out females to couple with year-round, compared to similar species who only spawn once or twice a year. And female cane toads produce massive egg clutches, up to 30,000 eggs in a single spawn. Native frogs simply can't keep up.
In Australia, as a contrast, our native frogs reproduce the species on about 2,000 eggs per female. So there's a sort of a quantum difference in size of egg batch. And because of that, cane toads can really take a place over in a hurry.
And hatched cane toads grow with stupendous speed. Like all amphibians, cane toads lay their eggs in water. But while most amphibians take weeks to incubate, cane toad poles can hatch out of their eggs and swim in just 24 hours. And the toad poles keep up the rapid growth, crawling out of the water and hunting on land in just over 2 weeks. Such fast-track development gives an invasive species a major advantage. Cane toads can start searching for food faster than their competitors. By the time native frogs reach maturity, cane toads have already swarmed the food supply and moved on. And cane toads don't just feed, they gorge, eating up to 200 food items in a single night. Their primary diet consists of ants, beetles, and crickets, but anything venturing past a cane toad's tongue can get swallowed up. These voracious toads get bigger the more they feed. Scientists believe the biggest cane toad specimens are the ones that roam the fastest. The first cane toad to arrive in new terrain will keep eating till its competition shows up. And the fast-feeding cane toad shows no signs of slowing down. They're advancing nearly 60 kilometers a year through cities and wilderness, porches, homes, backyards, and national parks. Cane toads are now depleting resources and decimating the natural food chain on multiple fronts at once. For concerned scientists and citizens like Graham Sawyer, they're Australia's worst invasive species.
I mean, I have a great admiration for them as an organism, but they just don't fit in Australia at all.
But the fact remains, the cane toad didn't arrive on its own. They're one of nature's greatest examples of resilience in a single species and dangerous domination in numbers. At first glance, you might think it's a dog. But this aggressive scavenger is far from man's best friend. It roams the night, bellowing blood-curdling screams in search of dead and dying prey. And when it tears into flesh, it's with some of the most bone-crushing jaws on Earth. This fiendish fighter may look cute, but its name says it all. The Tasmanian Devil. Tasmanian devils, as their name suggests, can only be found in one place, Tasmania. This Australian island's forests and dense foliage allow a resting devil to lay low by day. But by night, the same landscape becomes a shrieking stalking ground. Tasmanian devils are the kangaroo's crankiest cousin. Like most marsupials, they start as tiny specks in their mother's pouch. They don't get as big as their fleet-footed relatives. Tassie devils only reach 60 centimeters and weigh about 13 kilograms. But what they lack in size, they make up for in strength. Devils' huge heads hold powerful, crushing jaws, and their bite is even worse than their ear-splitting bark. The Tasmanian devil has the strongest bite force of any living mammal on Earth, capable of ripping through flesh and bone. The devil's bite force comes from a powerful upper body design. The Tassie's massive head is disproportionately larger than the rest of its torso and supports an unusually prominent and powerful mouth. To date, Tassies have killed no humans, but inadvertent encounters with devils can end in bloodshed. One of the only ways to observe them is in protected animal parks. It takes determination, something head mammal keeper Tim Faulkner of the Australian Reptile Park knows firsthand. Come on. His routine devil checkup quickly turns into a howling scuffle.
Hey, settle down. Come on.
Anyone who studies Tassies up close risks painful run-ins with muscular jaws that work like a snapping sling.
So you'll see that they've got a very large, lumpy jawbone. And most of that is muscle. It comes right up over the top of their forehead and attaches at the back of the ears and at the bottom of the ears and allows the pressure of the jaws to close.
This unique construction allows their jaws to generate an incredibly powerful bite pressure. An animal's bite force comes down to body and skull size and the physical pressure exerted by their teeth and jaws. The devil has one of the highest bite forces on Earth, higher than even the king of the jungle, the African lion. It's exceptional power for a creature the size of a small dog. Tasmanian devils' teeth are also built for power chewing. Their 1.5 centimeter long jutting front canines lock onto prey and rip meat from bone. Matching rows of incisors in the back grind meat into shreds. And these powerful feeders have massive appetites. A Tassie devil can consume up to 40% of its entire body weight in under 30 minutes. That's the equivalent of a 68-kilogram person sitting down to a 27-kilogram hamburger. The devil is a tireless nocturnal hunter, roaming up to 16 kilometers in a single evening to hunt and kill living prey like rodents and reptiles. But they prefer a far easier feast. Road accidents, abandoned kills, and injured animals only minutes from death. Even the Tassie's shrieks help them feed and hunt. These ghostly cries sound like horror film howling, but they're actually communication. So far, scientists have recognized 11 unique Tassie devil screeches, shrieks, and growls. They may never speak fluent Tassie, But they do know these sounds help Tassies intimidate and defend themselves, especially at meal times. But these violent cries also keep the peace. Feeding devils will yelp, growl, and even sneeze around the carcass of a dead animal, warning others to keep their distance. The system works like a combative cafeteria line. Each snarling Tassie takes his turn at the kill. It also allows devils to be cooperative feeders when necessary, dining together over big game prey like kangaroo or even cows. 2 or 3 devils work in tandem, pulling apart large slabs of meat. A group of devils won't stop until they've devoured the entire carcass, even its bones. Yet sharing can be dangerous work. These voracious eaters don't always know the power of their own strength, and feeding frenzied Tassies can do serious harm to one another. Biologists believe one critical adaptation helps save the species: their manners. Devil-eating etiquette can mean the difference between a meal and a lethal puncture wound.
They're so social because they try not to hurt each other. They can inflict serious wounds, gaping holes with their teeth, and they are quite ferocious to other animals. But their social behaviour enables them to come together, they use their whiskers, they have a bit of a talk, do some threat displays, show each other how strong they are without actually having to fight.
And their manners work much like their sounds. Devils display 20 different postures, poses, and tics, like yawning. Each tic signals some form of fear, submission, or aggression. But a yawning Tassie doesn't show fatigue, it's showing its teeth. It's theorized Tassies often bare their teeth as a sign of stress, but to a potential attacker, these gaping jaws say something else: beware. Yet no attacker poses as big a threat to the Tassie than a strange and mysterious new disease. A rare, deadly cancer called devil facial tumor disease is ravaging the Tassie population. The tumors attack facial tissue and eventually make it impossible for Tassies to eat. They die of starvation. There's only been one other known case of transmittable cancer in history, one spread among dogs. Ironically, the Tasmanian devil's aggressive socializing may be their undoing.
They come together, they squabble over food, and they nip each other around the face. Now, the cancer expresses itself in large tumours. When each devil bites onto another devil, part of that is transmitted.
Scientists speculate the devil facial cancers cut the Tassie population as much as 50% in the past 10 years. There are only an estimated 20 to 50,000 devils left in Tasmania, and more die each day. The Australian Reptile Park is one of several places in the country working to restore the species. Tim Faulkner and other keepers monitor a year-round breeding program.
The future for Tasmanian devils, at the moment in the wild, it's looking pretty grim. Steps have been taken to ensure their survival by bringing insurance populations into captivity so that if something does happen in Tasmania and extinction is a real factor, we can breed up and reintroduce into the wild.
Biologists hope these tenacious creatures can battle their way back from endangerment. No matter the threat Tassie devils face, the world's most raucous, meat-eating marsupial doesn't give in without a fight. If they can survive one another, they can stand a fighting chance to survive anything. It glides through murky underworlds, devouring prey with razor-sharp beaks and body-crushing tentacles. It even eats its own kind. And now it's coming closer to our shores. It's one of the ocean's greatest mysteries, the Humboldt squid. Their Latin name, Dicidicus gigas, literally translates as the jumbo squid. They grow up to 2 meters long and have 8 grasping limbs, each covered with powerful cutting suction cups. Their muscular bodies constantly undulate and flex, shooting through water like a torpedo. And when it's time to feed, Humboldts don't just kill, they pulverize their prey. Humboldt squid get their name from the Pacific Ocean's Humboldt Current. This cold waterway stretches 8,000 kilometers along the west coast of South America, from Chile to the Galapagos Islands. Here, Humboldt mostly keep to depths averaging 450 meters below the surface. This area, called the Twilight Zone, is like the Earth's outer atmosphere. These depths contain very little light or oxygen. This elusive deep-sea predator has kept out of reach to all but the most intrepid fishermen until now. Today, the Humboldt is changing its ways, breaking into new territory, and scientists have no idea exactly why. Mexico's Sea of Cortez has only recently become a Humboldt hunting ground. They congregate here to feed on such prey as octopus, anchovies, and mackerel. Like bees, the squid feed in a swarm. Thousands arrive en masse, draining an area's food supply. But Humboldts only stay as long as there's prey, leaving just as fast as they arrived, moving into new areas. They've migrated as far north as San Francisco, Oregon, and even Alaska, all in less than 10 years. Scientists find the animal's new behavior mystifying. Wandering Humboldts are facing new climate and temperature extremes, from warm 15-degree waters in Mexico to near freezing iceberg seas up north, yet somehow they're surviving. Biologists wonder if these changing behaviors are signs of a species in crisis, or signs of new adaptations with a logic all their own. And the Humboldt's behavior is transforming too. They're roaming closer to the water's edge, placing them in more frequent contact with us. Scientists have begun Humboldt tagging programs, attaching satellite tracking units onto living squid. They hope to decipher the fish's unexplained migration patterns. Stanford University biologist William Gilley has traveled to Mexico's Sea of Cortez to catch and tag Humboldt squid firsthand. He's looking for clues that might unlock the Humboldt migration mystery. Gilley's crew reel in a jumbo squid, and the clock starts ticking. Gilley's got to work carefully to tag it fast. Every second a squid is out of the water, it's dying. Squid breathe through gills on the underside of their upper bodies, extracting their oxygen from water. Gills can't function in open air. The animal gasps for breath with each loud suck.
attach that platform with the nylon screws, and then I'm putting on nuts underneath and washers. The washers prevent the skin from getting damaged too much. And once that's nice and snug but not too tight, then it's ready to go. So the tag sits here and dangles, and the antenna sits below the squid. Okay.
It's easy to underestimate this formidable creature when it's subdued and out of water. But a Humboldt in its natural element will defend itself with powerful physical weapons. Centuries ago, sailors told stories of giant-sized squid dragging seamen to their deaths. It may seem far-fetched today, but these ocean predators will attack divers trespassing on their turf. A threatened Humboldt will usually try two defensive strategies first. Tactics as dramatic as they are startling. First, Humboldts use murky black clouds to disarm and confuse a potential threat. It all starts with ink. A funnel-shaped organ inside their body cavity called a siphon shoots out a series of dark ink blobs known as pseudomorphs, or false bodies. Pseudomorphs contain a chemical that blocks a predator's sense of smell and taste. These dense clouds also trick enemies into thinking there's more than one squid in the water, allowing the real squid to make a fast getaway. An agitated jumbo squid may also turn red, surprising its attacker with a process called color flashing. This biological technique allows the squid to change its flesh from gray to darker colors like purple or crimson, earning Humboldts the nickname Red Devils. Thousands of tiny organs embedded in the skin called chromatophores control color patterns and pigment. But if these defensive strategies fail, Humboldts will attack potential predators the same way they go after prey, with force. Humboldts have remarkable flexibility and strength throughout their bodies. Like all squid, their main body mass or mantle works like a jet propulsion system, allowing them to slice through the water, hunting or attacking with agility and speed. To gather these bursts of speed, the squid use their open front gills to bring rushing water into their torsos, and then use their funnel-shaped siphon organ to push the water back out and propel themselves forward. Two triangular jutting side fins help the squid steer, and two front tentacles act as feelers, navigating and sensing other creatures or obstacles in the water. The anatomical design is so effective, jumbo squid can move up to 24 kilometers an hour. But their strongest asset is a set of arms that squeeze with a powerful grip. All squid have 8 grasping limbs, but a Humboldt's arms can measure almost 61 centimeters long, shackling a victim like a straitjacket. And each squeezing arm sports over 100 round, bony-edged suction cups, each ringed with around 20 teeth. A Humboldt's fatal embrace combines over 16,000 teeth in total, slicing into flesh all at once. And Humboldts use a final weapon to complete their kill, a razor-sharp beak. Humboldt beaks are made of the same matter that gives lobsters their hard shells, a tough fibrous substance called chitin. Humboldts use their rigid beaks to tear into flesh, ripping prey into digestible pieces. And these carnivorous squid have a ravenous appetite. They'll even eat their own kind. Humboldt autopsies often reveal whole sucker cups inside their stomachs. remnants of cannibalized kin. Scientists speculate feeding Humboldt turned cannibal out of convenience, preying on helpless squid trapped in fishing lines. And fishing poses a far greater threat, deliberately pulling thousands of tons of Humboldt from the ocean each year. The jumbo squid have become a popular catch. It's further reason biologists like Gilly hope to monitor Humboldt's movement and populations in the water. He makes sure this squid's ready for a safe release.
And we hold it in the water for long enough until we're sure that it's healthy, that it's not impaired by the tag, that it's breathing and squirting hard and flapping its fins. There it goes. Look at that. It'll be fine. There it goes. Hasta luego.
The embedded tag immediately begins recording and storing data. Every second it's attached to the creature, this sensor will read the changing water temperature, light, and pressure, helpful guides that will allow the scientists to track the squid's depth and possible location. The battery-operated tag stays active for up to 3 months, then floats to the surface and sends its information to computer stations via satellite.
We can get a detailed time record of the position of the squid in the water column every second. You can actually see individual spurts of the squid.
But so far, the initial findings baffle the scientists. The Humboldt's movements seem to be following no logic at all. Sometimes the squid travel as much as 32 kilometers a day. Other times, they move up and down the water column every 15 minutes. And still other times, they surface 12 hours at night, only to return to the ocean depths during the day. One possible explanation, the squid are following food. Some scientists believe these adaptable hunters are going after a roving, edible biomass. Finding food in increasingly overfished oceans can prove daunting. Another possible cause could be environmental: global warming. Studies show the Pacific Ocean's temperature is on the rise. This change may have thrown off the squid's entire ecosystem, forcing them into a potentially nomadic existence. So far, the answers remain as elusive as the giant Humboldt squid itself. Only time and continued study will reveal if these mysterious animal oddities may be changing their ways to safeguard their ultimate survival. It has fur like a rat, claws like a bulldozer, and the strangest nose on Earth. It's so peculiar, it defies logic. So secretive, it can't be seen. But when it's time to feed, it's one of the fastest eaters on Earth. The star-nosed mole. They're one of nature's best-kept secrets. Just 15 centimeters long, weighing only 85 grams, they don't look imposing. But what they lack in size, they make up for in speed. This diminutive predator hunts so fast, the human eye can't even see them kill. And behind all this power lies one of the most extraordinary snouts on the planet. A collection of 22 pointy star-like tentacles give the mole its star-nose nickname. Yet looks can be deceiving. Despite its name, the hunter doesn't sniff for its next meal. It feels for it. Some biologists believe this wiggling protrusion may well be the most sensitive feeling apparatus in the entire animal kingdom. Each nasal tentacle holds over 1,000 touch receptors called Eimer's organs. Combined, 25,000 receptor bumps pack into an area only a centimeter long. Ordinary mole noses have a mere fraction, and it would take all the nerves in 5 human hands to account for the same sensitivity. The star-nosed mole lives in the wetland marshes of the northeast regions of Canada and the United States. But don't waste your time trying to find one. These underground, underwater burrowers evade prying eyes. The star-nosed mole has a simple habitat policy. The darker and danker the swamp, the better. Vanderbilt University biologist Kenneth Catania devotes his time to studying these elusive rodents.
This is really an incredibly interesting habitat. Below the surface, there's a network of tunnels that we can find here. This is nice and muddy, and they're one of the only moles that actually digs their tunnels in muddy areas.
Ken tries to hone in on the mole's natural instinct to burrow and hide in tunnels in the mud.
We look for the sort of the border between the wetland area and the dry area. And here's a tunnel. We'll set a trap here and see if we get lucky.
The star-nosed mole is a tunneling powerhouse. Its rugged claws burrow through wet dirt and drill. Scientists like Ken have yet to excavate a star-nosed habitat in its entirety to study. So far, they've determined the mole's widest tunnels measure about 7 centimeters around and plunge 60 centimeters below the surface. But the distance is extensive. The mole's tunnel universe stretches nearly 120 meters. These ravenous hunters rarely surface from their underground layers. Tempting a star-nosed mole by scent or sight is next to impossible. So Ken has to set his version of mole speed traps.
So we put a lot of these traps into their tunnels and hope that they'll just wander in.
Many mole species live in dark underground layers where eyesight's of little use. These groping snout tentacles have absolutely no sense of smell. And while the star-nose does have nostrils that can sniff, scent is not its sense of choice when hunting. Instead, the star-nose uses these finger-like tentacles to take a sort of 3D snapshot of everything it passes. They probe the earth in a blur, hunting for small prey like insects and larvae, touching up to a dozen objects a second. Nerve fibers instantly send messages to the brain.
When the mole compresses its nose on an object or a prey item, it gets kind of a microscopic picture of the surface of that structure.
The system works with astounding speed. No mammal on Earth can find prey faster than the star-nosed mole.
They can find something, identify it as food, decide whether to eat it, and already start looking for the next thing in about 1/5 of a second.
And it feeds as fast as it feels. A star-nosed mole can identify food and consume it in a mere fraction of a millisecond. Compare this speed to the 650 milliseconds it takes a driver to hit the brake at a red light.
Even after having studied these moles for years now, I still kind of think of them as from another planet.
Ken wants to examine as many star-nosed moles as he can, but doing so isn't easy. He usually leaves his traps overnight, allowing time for unsuspecting moles to crawl in.
Let's see what we've got here. Oh, we got something here. And I would say just from that scratching noise, this is probably some kind of mole. Oh yeah, this is great. We've got a star-nosed mole here.
Each new specimen allows Ken to inspect its unusual anatomy firsthand. But Ken knows there's only so much he can observe with the naked eye. To really see this speed eater in action takes high-tech camera work. Ken's footage captures this star-nosed mole at 1,000 frames per second as it devours pieces of a worm. The slow-motion playback makes its kill visible at last. The star-nosed mole. It may look odd, but when it comes to phenomenal predators, nobody can top one of nature's oddest-looking speed demon feeders. Cold-blooded, phenomenally fast, and deceptively simple, this surprising con artist plays a bluffing game of life or death. The frill-neck lizard. One species' survival comes down to raw nerve and some of the boldest bluff tactics on Earth. From elaborate camouflage to a hidden hood to fake poison warnings. Almost everything about these animal oddities is a trick. But make no mistake, these liars can con their way out of anything, even death. Although these 1 meter long lizards look like lanky Godzillas, almost nothing about this animal is what it seems. Amanda Woodbine works with the frill-neck lizard at the Australian Reptile Park in New South Wales, Australia. She knows not to take them at face value.
Basically, the frill-neck lizard is the biggest bluffer in the whole of the animal kingdom.
The frill-neck lizard goes by a number of aliases, including the bicycle lizard, the frilled lizard, and the frilled dragon. Each nickname gives a clue to how these reptiles survive. Long and lean, rough and scaly, it lives several years and grows nearly 1 meter long. All of its 400-plus cousins in the Agamidae lizard family share the same leathery skin, strong limbs, and sharp teeth. Yet frill-necks have a survival strategy like no other lizard on Earth. They make their home in southern New Guinea, the Kimberley region of Western Australia, and in the blazing sun of northern Australia's savannas. Frill-necks can really take the heat, even seeking out areas still smoking from forest fires. The frill-neck actually favors charred earth. Roaring blazes bring tasty prey like burrowed insects to the surface. And the scorched land helps the devoted camouflager stay even deeper under cover.
The belly is predominantly black. Now, a burnt stick does lose quite a bit of size in it, so if one of these guys was to lay on top of a stick, a dead one that's been ravaged by fire, a predator looking from the ground, say a dingo, would look up and just see the black and go, well, there's no animal there, and wander off.
Camouflage is a frill-neck's first and most basic bluff, even when trees are blooming. They're arboreal animals, nature's most dedicated tree huggers, spending up to 90% of their time among the branches. frill-necks don't change skin color like chameleons, they don't need to. They simply make it their business to stay where their scaly hides blend in. And camouflage is just the first part of a 4-part deceptive defense strategy. A frill-neck's most extraordinary tactic takes it from streamlined to scary, a retractable hood. Threatened frill-neck lizards bare their fangs and extend 30 centimeters long frills. The frill works like an upper body umbrella. Cartilage spines connect the flexible hood to muscles around the lizard's jaw. The lizard opens its mouth, flexes its tongue, and pops out its brightly colored ruff. In a split second, they look larger and far more dangerous. This lurid display comes as a shocking surprise to predators who have no reason to expect it. Frill-necks are the only lizards who can perform this trick. And the vivid frill sends another deadly but deceptive signal: I'm poisonous. Intense colors in the animal kingdom, especially among reptiles, often carry an ominous warning: poison.
So when it opens its mouth, which is bright white, and frills out, the bright orange sticks out. And orange out in the wild is a pretty dangerous colour for a predator to see. Anything that's bright in coloration usually means toxic.
The warning markings of many poisonous snakes, reptiles, and large insects use intense colors, but this lizard is lying. No part of its anatomy makes any toxins of any kind. And its next tactic takes even more bluster. The frill-neck stands up and runs toward its predator, hissing like a snake. It's one of only a few lizards on Earth that can transform from a quadruped into a biped. This technique allows the lizard to get dangerously close. But this bravado goes against the frill-neck's non-aggressive nature. The cold-blooded animal normally conserves its energy, keeping to itself in the wild, avoiding conflict at all costs. Yet this bold display of nerve often pays off, sending would-be attackers on the retreat. Finally, if all else fails, the frill-neck goes to defense level 4, fight or flight. Fighting frill-neck lizards will bite an enemy as a last resort. But fleeing frill-neck lizards use their bipedal advantage once again, their turbocharged hind legs. The so-called bicycle lizard turns itself back into a 2-legged super sprinter, expending precious energy to run away. The frill-neck can flee so fast it hits speeds up to 24 kilometers an hour. The frill-neck dashes to the safety of the nearest tree cover to live and bluff another day. A master of deception and an extraordinary animal oddity. They're equipped with some of nature's most remarkable designs and astounding adaptations. Animals so mysterious, they fill us with awe. So powerful, they rule their worlds. Whether tenacious or titanic, weird or wondrous, they never cease to surprise us. The more we discover the planet's most incredible animal oddities.